So I found out the girl's name, and her name is Emily. And Emily is probably the character that gets the least screen time. Maybe Hannah gets the second least of the four girls, but she second lowest amount of screen time. But she's definitely the most likable. She's got a nice personality. She seems like a nice person, and she doesn't automatically have scenes that make her look terrible. I mean, here, let me show you this scene where the let me just show you. Okay, so let's take a look at this scene. All right, so you see this is Hannah. She's trying on clothes. There you go. She's very Prada. She's very sassy. There you go. That's her character. That's all you need to know. I mean, in later seasons, she definitely gets a little bit more, but um, that's really all you need to see for the first season or two. Here, let me get you another scene here with Arya, the one I was talking about earlier. So this scene is what I was talking about earlier. Okay, so that girl back there, behind the two of them, the girl on the left, right now, that's Arya. Now on the right, and then the one on the left. Okay, and that girl I thought was Spencer, but it's not. And so just then, that scene was where what I was talking about earlier, and they both literally just totally bullied her. I don't know why. It literally shows nothing. It doesn't prove anything to anybody. It just makes her look like a bad person. And it's little scenes like that that just kind of they're like it's like stones coming up against the characters. And here, let's stop about the characters because I feel like I've harped on enough. Um, let's focus on the mystery of the show, which, as I explained earlier, the characters. One of the characters, I believe it's Arya. She gets a text from someone, and it's a threat, and it's something along the lines of "I know what you did last summer," kind of like that. That they get a text, and it's like, "Oh, I know what you did," but except this time it's named A. The person is named A. And there's a bunch of twists and turns, and this guy named Toby turns out to be working with A. A turns out to be multiple people. But it's just, oh, by the way, spoilers. I know, I mean, I'm not going to say specific names because I just don't remember, but spoilers anyway, just in case. And Toby, he turns out to be working with A, and A is just so... A is like the most interesting part of the first season. When they first get the text from A, I think it's the most interesting thing that happens. And it's not like it's like any brilliant filmmaking, scene. It's the cinematography is super boring. It's really flat, really static kind of, and it brings no emotional like depth. And the thing is that the people, they seem so manufactured, the actors, the characters, that there's just no levity. The entire show is so melodramatic. Everything is like, oh my god, everything is wrong. Our lives are horrible, even though we're beautiful and rich and do all these cool things. And it blows my mind what these officials, not these executives, were thinking when they made this show. You know what they were thinking? They were thinking money. That's what we're gonna get, money. And I don't know if the book series came first or whether this show came first, but there's a book series of the same title, and I believe it's centered on the same girls. I really hope that the book is better, because if it's better, if the book series is better, good for her, good for whoever's reading it. Excuse me, not her. And go do something else. I mean, really, you look at these shows, and you get the same thing over and over. My little sister, she watches these shows, and it's very similar. I swear, I walk in sometimes and she's watching like I know I mentioned Riverdale in the last episode, but I'm mentioning it again. I walk in on Riverdale and I think to myself, what show is this today? is it gosh, it was like not the orphans, no, not the orphans, the adopted, something with the, but you line it up. They're these family dramas that ABC creates, or excuse me, Freeform, and you're like, you can't even tell the difference between the two. Is this Pretty Little Liars? I don't know. Beautiful Young People, is it Pretty Little Liars? I can't tell. And apparently Pretty Little Liars is a spinoff of Ravenswood, which I don't even, that's another can of worms I'm not even going to go into. But I know I'm already going to do it and actually try and pay attention. I hope I can pay attention during Ravenswood, because I was just bored to tears. Anyway, back to the mystery of the show. And I like some aspects of the mystery. It's good that they have so many red herrings. There are so many ways to confuse the audience of who's actually A. But sometimes it takes a back seat to boring character conflicts, and I mean, because the characters are so boring, you want to go back to the mystery, but the mystery is just not as developed as enough as it could be. And so you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, I really wish I was watching a good mystery. And it's it makes so many twists and turns, as I said earlier, that it becomes so convoluted. It's like when you're trying to bake a pie, but then you add like 50 ingredients to the pie, and it just tastes not even like pie anymore. It tastes like fruit pudding, figgy pudding. And sometimes I can't really say simple is better in this case, because the show is already so basic. Like I was talking to someone else today, and I was trying to explain to them what I was doing for this video, and I literally could not remember anything but maybe 2 characteristics of each character, and one of them I completely merged in my mind, the 2 of them. Spencer, the most I remember is that she beat up somebody with a bat. I seriously don't remember. It's such a blur in my mind. It's such a blur that I wish I could go back. I think I made myself forget at just how bad it is sometimes. And gosh, I've been see what's next. Okay, let's talk about some male characters for a moment, cuz we've been harping on the female cast a little bit too much. So we've got Toby, and then in later seasons Caleb, who is Hannah's boyfriend. Hannah's the one with the glasses that I showed earlier, the sunglasses. And then there's Ezra, and I think that's it. Maybe there's some old flings that they introduce that, I don't understand how these people have so many, I don't know. They're so much like adults that it's just ridiculous. But anyway, so these male characters, so I would say initially that Caleb was interesting, and so was Toby. I like Toby the best, but then he became like, they seem like they're all along the same lines. They're the cool guy, but they're not like quirky. They're serious. They're really serious. They take everything so seriously. This show just takes itself so seriously. Even though the premise is really silly and makes no plausible sense, they play it for seriousness. And I think even when they try and be, joking about it, it doesn't work. And I would say, in conclusion, this show is it's a really garbled mess. And if they had better writing and better characters, I could say that they could actually make a quality TV show. But just what's here, the foundation that's there, if there's good foundation in the books, sure, they can redeem themselves. But at this point in time, I gotta say, Pretty Little Liars gets... Here, let me introduce some kind of new system here of rating. I'm gonna give it a bad movie rating. Yeah, there you go. I'm not gonna go by a number. I know it's kind of a lame rating, but yeah, it's a bad TV show. I said movie, didn't I? I meant TV show. It's painfully average. There we go. That's okay. There, I'll create a system by next episode. But thank you for watching. I know I didn't really have a title for this yet, but I'm gonna call it TV shows through time. All right. See ya. Bye.